Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing Wednesday. And in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to be breaking down the top 7 stocks that I am watching to show signs of a potential reversal. So I'm going to be breaking down exactly with this TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform for all those that are going to be asking. These series of 7 stocks. If you don't want to tune in for the entire live stream, all you have to do is look at these are the stocks that I'm going to be breaking down today. Feel free to break them down yourselves. I want to make sure that you guys understand that none of these are in any way any stock suggestions. This is simply based off my opinion, and I'm going to explain to you why I see value in them exactly and what I plan to do when I'm watching them. So I'm going to start off with BA, right? We've talked about this one after it had this very aggressive sell-off, right after the crash, if I'm not mistaken, in China. Acted as negative news, and just like for others that have ever watched me trade live during the natural gas report, there's this news that comes out that obviously is not in favor of the company. It drives the price down, it begins to consolidate, it finds a support, and then guess what most likely happens? It then begins to show signs of an uptrend pattern. It can go both ways, right? It can fully get rejected and then continue to make lower lows, but usually that only happens when more news or negative news is added to what was already shared, right? Which continues to drive the price down. As you guys can see, you guys can indicate or take a look at the volume, and you can see the difference, right? The difference from demand. You can see that the volume bars right here are pretty average, right? And as this news was released, right, it progressively, day by day, it has slowly gone down because the news has become less relevant. So normally when you see that, you then begin to see the price overall begin to consolidate. It finds a support, and then as you guys can see on the right hand side, I have all my alerts set. The margin of profit that this thing has, again, this is based on the assumption that this thing will go back up to like an average purchase price of 420. So based off previous patterns, it hit highs of 450, but I would like to at least focus on a little bit more of a realistic kind of like price target. So from where it's at right now, so let's say at an average purchase price of 380, although it's at 376, to about 420. This thing would offer a little bit over 10%. This is Boeing, multi-billion-dollar airline company that produces the engines for these huge planes. You can look a little bit more into it. Just simply wanted to talk about it and why it is that I'm watching it. There's some negative news that was released that drove and acted as a positive catalyst that drove the price down. It is now finding a support. The news is becoming less relevant. We're seeing that with the volume. And slowly, it makes sense on why the price action would then follow, and then the price would then begin to pick up and correct itself. That's all I wanted to talk about. Just as much as the price can go up, the price can go down. So one of the biggest focuses that I have with ticker symbol BA is for this thing to begin to make higher highs. So doing the exact opposite of what it did. This thing was making lower lows. So now for this thing to be making higher highs and then begin to show signs of an uptrend pattern. If BA begins to show signs of growth, then obviously that's something that I would probably want to partake in, because then the growth would happen with my account. The next one that I want to talk about is ticker symbol BNFT. As you guys can see, it has a very consistent pattern of pushing up, showing signs of an uptrend pattern. It pulled back due to earnings, overall drove the price down. Again, same thing, 3 stages in a reversal: rejection, consolidation, and as you guys can see on the right-hand side, I have my alerts. I would like to wait for higher highs, and for this thing to ultimately break above the overall SMA line. That would make me feel extremely or much more comfortable, as it normally does break below the SMA line but then quickly correct itself. It's been here for almost a month, so again, it has not been showing signs of an uptrend, and that's why I'm talking about this, to simply maybe set your alerts, keep an eye on it, and simply follow up with it on a weekly basis. If it begins to make higher highs and then begins to show signs of an uptrend, great. It might be something that you might see value in, or that you might simply just want to watch because of the margin of profit and what it has to offer. So based off previous patterns and based off previous highs, as you can see right here and right here, again, I'm not going to shoot for the price target of 60, but let's say you get at an average purchase price of 48.84, and it's right now at 48.61, with the overall sell price around $55. That's a little bit over 12%. So again, I find that to be attractive, and that's why I'm talking about it. Another sell-off that we recently saw, you can see with the RSI, you can see with the MACD, it's still showing signs of a downtrend pattern. It's still not consolidating, but I think it would be interesting to talk about. It's ticker symbol DIS. Disney, multi-billion-dollar company. You can look into it to see if it's something that you want to partake in, and see if it's something that you see value in. As of right now, it's still trending down. I simply wanted to talk about it because it's sold off, and it might present a good opportunity if it begins to show signs of an uptrend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a series of alerts if it begins to make higher highs, and I already have my alert if it begins to make lower lows. So I'm going to set a series of alerts that will alert me based off of the overall movement and when I might see value in it. So I'm going to go here, and then let's say at an average purchase price of about $111 with an average sell price of around 114 or 115. That's anywhere from around 2.5 to 3.5%. Obviously, it's Disney. It's not very volatile. But if you're someone that's just getting started and wants to play around or simply watch slower moving stocks, then Disney might be something that might be interesting to you. The next one that I want to talk about, the margins are not huge on this, but this is ticker symbol FedEx. Again, its overall guidance was off with its overall earnings report. Sold off. It found a support here before. It picked up, hit highs of 184. It's sold off, right? Today was the first day that it recovered. It says that it's down 3.49%. We talked about this in the Learn Plan Profit live stream this morning at Market Open. And since then, from Market Open to where it's at right now, it grew 3%. So yes, it's down 3.5% for all those that held it overnight. But for those that didn't, then guess what? We're able to partake in its recovery. And that's the really cool thing about this. So set your alerts for maybe when this thing breaks above the EMA line, and also set your alerts for this thing to make lower lows. But I like the MACD and I like the RSI, as I find that to be attractive. Excuse me. One that we've been watching for quite some time as well is ticker symbol NIO. This one's still consolidating, and in no way is it showing any sign of an uptrend pattern, but I thought it'd be something interesting to talk about, to simply have in your watch list and set your series of alerts. It has bounced here multiple times, as you guys can see, at around this $6 price point here, and potentially here. But one thing that I would like to wait for is higher highs and for the EMA line to begin to point up instead of pointing down. So that's why I set my series of alerts right here on the right hand side. As you guys can see, and I'll set one more when it breaks above $7, but I thought it would be something interesting to talk about. One that we actually talked today about in the Learn Plan Profit live stream is TSCO. So thank you again for bringing it up. I believe I was going to shout you out for who called it out. But what I wanted to say is, it was showing signs of a sell-off. It has a pretty consistent pattern based off previous resistance. We could see that to be anywhere around like 95 to 97.50 based off previous patterns, as we could see there. If you want to be a little bit more conservative, then obviously that would be a little bit more in the $95 price point. Based on where it's at right now, it's at the $95 price point. It's not huge margin, so it'd be anywhere from around 4.5% to about 7%. So again, I find that to be pretty attractive. The pattern has become pretty consistent. One thing that I do want to point out is that it was showing signs of an uptrend pattern. It has peaked out ever since and has not been making higher highs. So one thing that you want to be aware of is a very common pattern is when it begins to show signs of a peak formation, it can begin to make lower highs. So don't expect it to go all the way back up to $98, especially as it's been breaking the support level, as we've been seeing that it's been breaking below the SMA line. So the easiest way to put it is understand its overall direction. If it continues to show signs of an uptrend, great. At any indication of a resistance or a pullback, don't be afraid to lock in profits and simply walk away. Now, one of the last ones that I want to talk about is Tesla. Yes, the SMA line is pointing up, but one thing that I do want to talk about is it's been showing signs of a lot of consolidation. It has found a support at around the 268, 270 area, and today was one of its first green days for the past week, if I'm not mistaken, after its initial sell-off, after its unveiling, whatever it is that you want to call it, for the Tesla Model Y. I think it'd be very interesting for you to just simply set your alerts. Understand that it is a descending pattern with the overall SMA line, so identifying that to be the resistance and where it's at right now. The margin of profit is not huge, but it's also not that bad either. At a perfect trade, it would be at about 8% realistically. If you can cover 5% of that, I think that would be amazing. But as of right now, it was just simply one green day, so I just wanted to talk about it. I have all my alerts set, and actually this is one of the ones that I traded today, and I'm actually still swing trading because I find it for it to be that attractive. For those that did not keep up to date with my overall position, I closed the day at a little bit over $3,179 profit on the day. I day traded Tesla pretty aggressively today because of its overall direction. It did a really good job holding above the middle and top VWAP. And if you want to see a little bit more of my breakdown, then feel free to watch today's earlier video. Again, I know that there's a lot of negative news towards Elon and its overall company and how he's been performing, but ultimately I think the reason that it pulled back and why Tesla sold off is not something that's detrimental to the overall company. And again, that's my opinion, and feel free to share yours in the comment section. So I do see a lot of people commenting right now. I don't want to take too much of your guys' time. I just personally wanted to thank you guys again for simply tuning in. I wish you guys an amazing rest of the week. Today I was able to exceed my weekly profit goal in just one day of trading. So for the next 2 days, I'm going to take it pretty simple. Tomorrow is one of my favorite days. It's day trading the natural gas report. If you're part of the Learn Plan Profit stream, then feel free to tune in. I trade live every single day only for the Learn Plan Profit group. So if you guys have like 5 minutes, again, be sure to click that first link in the description. If you have any questions about the Learn Plan Profit course, if I'm not mistaken, you can actually schedule a call with us, and it's going to be someone within our Learn Plan Profit team that will take your call and answer any questions that you might have about the course. If you have any questions about trading, then again, I would love to stay connected. We have a free group, the largest one out there on Facebook, with nearly 200,000 members, and that's that second link in the description. But again, if you want to be able to watch me trade live every single day and learn a little bit more about my approach about trading in the stock market, then I would love to work with you on a closer basis. And the only way to do that is, again, that first link in the description. So I hope that you guys found this video informative. I hope I earned your thumbs up. I hope you guys subscribe. And I wish you guys an amazing rest of your week. Continue working hard. Continue following dreams. Let your passion be a drive to your success. I'm going to go ahead and grab some food. And I wish you guys an amazing rest of your day.